Welcome. In this video, the event, Empyreal Tragicomedy of Azur Lane will be summarized. Throughout the video, there will be spoilers for the story of Azur Lane. If you don't want to be spoiled, please go and play the game. The Sardinia Empire was under attack, with Taranto Harbor consumed by flames from the Royal Navy's relentless aerial assault. Littorio, filled with frustration, struggled to understand how such an attack was not anticipated, nor how the Royal Navy managed a nighttime strike. The harbor, now ablaze, was a version of hell. Days earlier, Vittorio had received troubling news of a siren fleet amassing near Sardinia's southern borders, heightening concerns about their alliances with the Ironblood as the siren's threat grew imminent. In Citia Eterna, Littorio urged Vittorio to act decisively, highlighting Sardinia's strength and technological superiority. Viewing the siren presence as an opportunity, Littorio proposed seizing the moment to display Sardinia's power on the world stage. Despite Vittorio's concerns, especially after the Vicia Dominion's fall, Littorio dismissed her doubts, warning that inaction could lead to their downfall. Littorio declared a personal mission to lead the Imperial fleet and crush the Sirens, restoring Sardinia's glory. Giulio Cesare and Conte di Cavour were locked in a heated exchange while battling the Sirens. Cesare, frustrated with the enemy's sudden appearance, urged focus on the fight, while Cavour assessed the Sirens' elusive nature. Their banter was cut short when Carabinieri alerted them to approaching reinforcements. Cesare commanded the fleet to open fire, and after a swift battle, they easily defeated the Sirens. Vittorio later praised their efforts and instructed Cesare to lead the fleet to La Spezia for much-needed rest, as Zara and Pola reflected on the brief, unchallenging battle. Just as they prepared to head out, Zara spotted aircraft in the distance. Initially confused, they soon realized the planes belonged to the Royal Navy, not Ironblood. Although the aircraft left without engaging, Zara noted the Royal Navy's persistence. As tensions eased, Cesare gave the order to continue to La Spezia. Unaware that Littorio, silently watching, believed everything was proceeding according to plan for the Sardinia's Empire's next move. Warspite observed the Sardinia's fleet's movements after their battle with the Sirens, noting how their mobilization of capital ships seemed more like a show of force. Illustrious suggested caution, recommending a diplomatic approach to bring Sardinia back to Azur Lane, but Warspite expressed concerns over Sardinia's growing aggression. Queen Elizabeth, while agreeing to negotiations, emphasized maintaining the Royal Navy's pride. Warspite, aiming to avoid a past repeat of conflicts like the Vicia incident, prepared to meet with Sardinia's fleet to address the siren threat, though tensions simmered beneath the surface. When Warspite approached Littorio to propose cooperation against the Sirens, the conversation quickly turned to mistrust. Littorio criticized the Royal Navy's actions and motives, expressing doubt about their commitment to peace. Despite this, she agreed to assist in searching the Mediterranean for the Siren threat, though with ulterior motives. Littorio secretly planned to use the opportunity to break the Royal Navy's control over Malta, positioning her forces for a decisive strike. As Vittorio wavered, Littorio's confident leadership persuaded her to move forward with the bold plan, setting the stage for Sardinia's ambitious play for Mediterranean dominance. The day after Sardinia's deceptive plan was set in motion, Zara and Pola found themselves struggling to understand the eccentric York, who spoke in a strange metaphor and referenced mysterious forces. Despite their confusion, they played along, pretending to comprehend her words. As Carabinieri provided navigational intel, York rambled about sensing the enemy through Thippius field manipulation, much to the bewilderment of the Sardinia forces. Zara and Pola, aware of their mission, maintained their focus, knowing the real objective was yet to unfold. As night fell, Zara revealed Sardinia's true intentions, ambushing York and her fleet with mass-produced ships. While York initially seemed surprised, she quickly retaliated, unleashing a signal flare into the sky to alert Warspite and Illustrious of Sardinia's betrayal. The flare's light spanned miles, signaling the beginning of a larger battle. Warspite, unfazed by the betrayal, ordered Illustrious to launch her aircraft. Meanwhile, Zara commanded Carabinieri to warn their forces of the compromise operation, but York stood in her way, determined to prevent their escape. Backtracking a bit on the Royal Navy side, Warspite and Illustrious prepared for their joint mission with the Sardinia Empire to hunt down the Sirens, though Warspite expressed suspicion about Sardinia's eagerness to join. Illustrious, relying on her woman's intuition, had already anticipated possible betrayal and made preparations, including consulting Her Majesty. She explained to Warspite that the Sardinians' proposal to conduct the operation at night was likely a ploy to exploit the Royal Navy's lack of night patrols at Malta. Warspite remained skeptical, but acknowledged Illustrious' foresight, as she had even thought to bring flares along for signaling any types of treachery. Just before the Royal Navy set off, Illustrious entrusted York with using the flares to signal different scenarios: green for success, blue for reinforcements, and red if Sardinia betrayed them. York, eager but slightly confused, agreed to load her cannons with the flares, while Illustrious hoped it wouldn't come to betrayal. Warspite, still doubtful, questioned what they would do if the red flare was fired. Illustrious responded with a playful tone, stating that they would have to spank some naughty children if it came to that. Littorio and Cavour were caught off guard as Taranto harbor erupted in flames, the Royal Navy launching a surprise night attack while Sardinia's forces were split. Amidst the chaos and fire, Littorio questioned how the Royal Navy had anticipated their movements and operated aerial squadrons at night. Vittorio, realizing the dire situation, urged a retreat, but Littorio refused to surrender, believing they could still turn the tide by destroying the enemy carrier. As Illustrious revealed herself as the mastermind behind the bombing, Littorio admired her skill, yet vowed to defeat her. In the heat of battle, Littorio launched a fierce attack, damaging Illustrious but unable to sink her. Despite enduring multiple torpedo strikes, Littorio boasted about her ship's Pugliese system, which absorbed the damage. However, Warspite arrived with reinforcements, forcing Littorio into retreat after suffering critical damage. Even in defeat, Littorio praised Illustrious, acknowledging her strength and beauty before withdrawing from the battlefield, vowing that their paths would cross again. Warspite, concerned for Illustrious, noted the unusual challenge they had faced and prepared for future encounters. Another flashback to before the Mediterranean battle, Illustrious gathered her sisters, Victorious and Formidable, for tea, reminiscing about how long it's been since they spent time together. After some lighthearted teasing, Illustrious revealed her true purpose for the meeting, a mission to the Mediterranean. Victorious shared her eagerness to prove herself in battle, while Formidable humorously misinterpreted Illustrious's announcement as a wedding proposal. Illustrious, blushing at the joke, composed herself and invited her sisters to join her on a new critical operation. Meanwhile, back in the present, in Sardinia's capital, Littorio paced anxiously, strategizing how to deal with the Royal Navy's Illustrious-class carriers, particularly Illustrious herself. Despite Veneto's confusion over Littorio's swimsuit debate, the conversation shifted to more serious matters. Littorio emphasized the need to seize Royal Navy technology to strengthen their forces after the defeat at Taranto. Veneto, noting the political paralysis within Sardinia, agreed to Littorio's plan, recognizing the growing threat of the Sirens and the importance of playing their hand carefully against both allies and enemies in the Mediterranean. Back during the attack on Taranto harbor, Zara checked on Pola, who reassured her it was just a scratch, their durable armor holding strong. With determination, Zara declared their resolve as Warspite reminded Formidable of Her Majesty's orders to seize the Jewel of Calabria before midnight. Warspite rushed in to take on Zara, allowing Formidable to proceed on. Zara fired at them, but Warspite deflected, engaging her directly, confident that handling Zara would be easier without Formidable around. As Warspite dueled Zara, she shared her battle-hardened wisdom, emphasizing that true strength comes from pushing one's limits. However, Zara and Pola quickly disengaged, mocking Warspite's senile rambling, as they relayed the Royal Navy's plans to intercept Formidable. Warspite, trailing behind, lamented how swiftly they evaded her. She mused about the need for a retrofit, reflecting on how much faster and more cunning her younger foes had become. Vittorio expressed disappointment that the Ironblood never showed up to help them, suggesting that they, the Sardinians, were merely cannon fodder in their plans. Vittorio agreed, noting their dismissive attitude, and reflected on the impending end of their reenactment, which might conclude either as a comedy or tragedy. Formidable admired the beauty of the Mediterranean, known as the Jewel of Calabria, while Vittorio explained its significance to Sardinia. They were to assess the stakes of their alliances, hoping to reveal the true nature of their roles in the Crimson Axis. Back at the Royal Islands, Formidable reported their victory over the Sardinian forces, praising their own night battle prowess. The illustrious class sisters enjoyed their tea, with Victorious expressing envy and anticipation of a new sister joining them. Formidable relayed a Baroque message from Littorio, prompting Illustrious to reflect on Sardinia's internal issues. Meanwhile, in the Ironblood, Charnors and Gneisenau, critical of the Sardinians' performance, discussed future plans in the return of Bismarck. Gneisenau was tasked with the constant surveillance of the Sardinia Empire to report any signs of treachery. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Girls Frontline videos as well.